Hertz car rentals are dumping 20,000 electric vehicles. The company invested heavily 2-3 years ago in an effort to champion the cause of being a climate-friendly car hire company. I don't know if they sent off their staff for advanced training in the use of pronouns, but they were heading in that direction. Let's just leave it at that. However, this decision has turned out to be one of the most expensive mistakes in the company's history. The company is actually writing this off as a loss of $245 million. Not only were the cars expensive to maintain, far more expensive than internal combustion engine vehicles, but more importantly, their customers did not want to rent them. And that is quite understandable. When somebody rents a vehicle, they're not going to get in it, drive to work, leave it there all day in the car park and then drive home most of the time. In fact, when people rent a vehicle, they more often than not are going on a business trip, they're going touring, they have a lot of mileage to cover, and they do not want to spend hours and hours of the time that they have paid good money for fighting their way to get access to a charging point and then hanging around somewhere for hours at a time to charge their vehicle. They simply want to refuel and go. However, this brings us back to the point I mentioned yesterday about the government's electric vehicle quota, which this year is currently 22%. This is being presented as an opportunity for them to slash the cost of electric vehicles, but it is nothing of the sort. This is about pushing internal combustion engine vehicles off the road. It is about denying you, the average person on the street, access to your own vehicle, to independence. And unless you are wealthy enough to be able to afford to pay for the vehicles that at the cost they will be, within 5 years, you will no longer have access to transport. The elite will, the wealthy will, but the average person like you and I will struggle to be able to afford a vehicle. Now, those of you who have bought electric vehicles, I'm sure you have done so in good faith. But I'm sorry to say that electric vehicles are no kinder to the climate than the worst gas guzzler driving up and down one of the US freeways, because the batteries are so toxic. An internal combustion engine can be rebuilt, it can be rebored. Many of them have achieved millions of miles. That's not going to happen with EVs, but this is not about the climate. If it were about the climate, there would be many other options available. This is about taking away your freedom. And whilst many of you, as I said, have bought electric vehicles with the best of intentions, there are so many of you driving around holier than thou because you think that you are being so good to the environment, but you don't stop for 1 second to think that every single day young boys as young as 6, 7 and 8 years old are dying, burrowing into holes in the Congo to get the access to the minerals that will go in your batteries. You don't mention that, do you? Now, I don't think that we should turn this into pick an EV driver week, but I do believe that those of you who are considering buying an EV should reconsider. In fact, I would implore you to reconsider while we can, because we need to do whatever we can to stop this assault on our civil liberties. Since the lockdown, if you stop and look around, you will see that they have accelerated everything, and anybody who contradicts the narrative is taken down. In fact, I should be interested to see if this video actually survives. Who knows? I would urge you, reconsider. Please do not buy an EV. Please do not support this disgraceful agenda that is being enforced on all of us. And if you already have an EV, then I'm sorry to say that you will find, when you want to get rid of the monstrosity that they are, that nobody wants to buy them, because used EV market has collapsed. Dealers are no longer willing to take them in. Throughout Europe, there is a serious problem because, being the autocratic, insidious organisation that they are, the EU are desperate to try and convince people that anybody who is anybody is buying an EV, and to try and drum up some sort of used EV market where there is, I won't say none, but where there is hardly any interest whatsoever. The price of EVs is collapsing, but regardless of the price of the vehicles, the average person cannot afford or should not take the risk in buying an EV where the batteries are out of warranty or nearly out of warranty, because when they go, they cost thousands. I don't think that we should be at each other's throats about this, because once again, as with everything, we are subjected to what I call politically engineered polarization, because everything is about dividing us into them and us, left wing, right wing, Labour, Conservative, Brexit, Remain. And whilst Joe Bloggs in the street is ripping the shreds out of his friend, out of his neighbour, the rats at the top are busy implementing their agenda for you and I. And it's about time that we put our foot down and we stopped it, because the real criminals, the real threat to the climate, are the people masquerading as those who are trying to find solutions. So we should not be turning on each other. We should be turning on them. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon.